Hey, what's up, guys? This is Negative coming through with a quick video to give you the rundown and a short tutorial on how to set up um, the Smashbox overlay. It's like a super grimy hack of PadPipe, like complete garbage tier, but it gets the job done. I'm not really going to put any kind of quality time into like make it not complete ass, but it's functional. I need to put mode in still, and I need to punch the profiles back in because I had disabled multiple profiles like an idiot, and then I was like, wait, people want that, so I'll put those back in. But select your input device, select your profile. When you click your buttons here, like it'll save those things, so it'll remember what your settings were. So the next time you come into the program, you can just click run. You don't have to click it every time. So let's go to remap. First, you're going to map your buttons, then you're going to calibrate your buttons, right? And then you can actually run the software. So the thing about this is PadPipe out of the box like does not play at all with the official Nintendo adapter. So what you're gonna have to do is use a RAFnet or a Mayflash because PadPipe just doesn't seem to want to work with it, and I can't seem to figure out a way to get it to work. I've tried for a while and looked around at a lot of forums, and no luck there. So if anyone actually knows how to get it to work, let me know. In the meantime, I'll be using this RAFnet since I don't have a Mayflash. And the RAFnet uh, doesn't seem to work very well with PadPipe when you're mapping buttons, but once you've mapped your buttons, everything's cool. Like it'll run just fine, no hiccups. So, but the mapping can be a bitch. So I'll let you know what's up with that. One, it doesn't like Smashbox when you're mapping buttons on a RAFnet. So plug up a GameCube controller and then go into your mapper, right? We're gonna map our buttons, and then if I press a button right now, cool, it took it. If it's not taking any of my buttons, like you're just spamming buttons and nothing's happening, uh, press L and fully depress it and keep doing that. It's like the only button that'll work. For some reason, PadPipe has this issue with RAFnet. Spam L, go all the way through the buttons, and then click the remapper again. And this time, it'll accept inputs. It comes like this straight out of the box. I have no idea what causes it, and I don't feel like figuring it out, so fuck it. So that's how you get around that. So let's map these buttons. B, C down, C left, C right, C up. When you get to the modifiers, just input a dummy button that you're not using. So I'm not using D-pad, so I'm just going to press D-pad up. If you were using every single button on the controller, go ahead, go through the remapper, find out what it selected as like its last button in whatever order it fucking chose to do. Like I've tried to put it in specific order and it doesn't want to behave, so just go through, find out what button's last, use that as your dummy button, and then once you end up doing the last button with that, lo and behold, like all the other ones don't map because it doesn't let you double map a button. Like it just keeps whatever the newest one was, so you'll be good to go. So let's use dummy button there for mirror, dummy for tilts, right? X and Y are good. X2 is not. Y1, Y2, that's dummy buttons. Z. Now these arrow buttons are also dummy buttons. Basically, I wanted to have the four buttons, like, you want to be able to spread your buttons out in like non-default locations. And I didn't feel like integrating all the logic for buttons into the logic for like control sticks because it's an entirely different entity. And I said, fuck it. So just I threw four dummy buttons down. It's easier to deal with when you're going through your config anyways and customizing your stuff. So just press a dummy button for these, start, and then yeah, it tucks start in between for some reason. Great. And then you'll actually map your control stick when it says to move, and I'll change that to say move the control stick up and release. But yeah, not move up, up. But yeah, we're gonna move our control stick up, release, down, release, left, release, right, release. Fantastic. And then once again, yeah, I don't know why this is glitching out with these. It doesn't matter because it's not going to do it when you're actually running the software, so fuck it. Great. So now I'm going to plug up my actual Smashbox so we can calibrate our Smashbox with PadPipe. So, got it plugged up. Now I'm going to go to calibrate. Shablams. We got instructions, right? This test records your control stick and modifier settings. So what we're going to do, it'll prompt you for each test, right? Either with a prompt or in the top left, it'll tell you what you actually need to be pressing. We're going to answer yes and no to perform or skip a test, right? And then when we're actually going to test it, hold the required buttons and then press the A button, all right? Cool. So let's measure our unmodified joystick inputs first. So I don't know if it automatically starts polling first off, so I just spam some buttons real quick before I do my neutral input. So I'm just let it be neutral, press A. Fantastic. All right. So let's just knock these out. Left and A, left and up, right, right down, left down. Basically, it's just clockwise circle. You can keep the current values. No will re-perform. You can redo the test, basically. So if you messed up, don't worry about it. You just redo that short little test cycle. So, boom. I am using tilt 1. Let's do tilt 1. Once again, just counterclock, or just a clockwise circle, right? Cool. Tilt 2. Done. X1 I am not using, so I will skip that. X2 I am. Now, when you do your X and Y mods, keep in mind that you are not actually doing the directions that don't matter. Like, for example, if I'm doing the X axis, why would I check pure vertical? Or vice versa, right? So only the one that's aligned or the diagonals will be actually checking. So like this one, X2 and left, left up, right, right down, left down. Done. Next, Y1. So left up, right down, left down, done. Y2. Left up, right down, left down, done. And lastly, since I did Y1 and Y2, it will check for the combination of both of those together. So, boom, left up, right down, left down, done. So, there we go. We're fucking done. Fire it up. Hey, there we go. So what you'll notice is, here's my full tilt, right? And, you know, all the other buttons work like they normally do because it's just fucking pad pipe, right? Woo! But the tilts and shit is what matters, right? So I can do L and light shield, R, light shield, right? Woo! My light shield button works. And then similarly, here's like tilt 2, tilt 1, your Y modifiers, right? Here's both of them together. Here's Y1, Y2, X1, right? X2, that type of stuff. Or like combinations of like, you know, tilts and like, you know, Y1, whatever else, right? So just a few things to keep in mind when you're doing this stuff. I can only check the output to see what was being pressed. So if you have ambiguous input, right? Or you have like, let's say you're holding tilt, right? And you also press Y and X mods. So the Y and X mods override the tilt in that particular direction. So if I'm pressing tilt 2 and a diagonal, right? And then I press Y1, cool. But as soon as I press X as well, now tilt's going to go away because like there's no actual contribution from the tilt anymore. Like it's all just X and Y. So just know that. And then the other thing to know is that like if I press, let's say, tilt 1 and left, right? Because let's say I'm like doing tilt attacks. I'm forward tilting, right? And then I want to press like up tilt, right? But on my controller setup, for example, my up is the same for tilt 1 and tilt 2. So it doesn't really know which button I'm actually pressing. So in the case where you have an ambiguous input, what it does is it looks to see, one, do we have an exact match? If we have an exact match, just go with it. And if both of them match, go with the previous one that you were pressing. And similarly, go with the previous one otherwise. So like if I had done tilt 1, and now I'm going to press up, it's going to give me tilt 1, even if I'm holding tilt 2 right now. Like if I switched from tilt 1 to tilt 2, because tilt 1 and tilt 2 are the same, more than likely, most instances, this will be the correct button to be pressing. So that's kind of just how I decided to deal with it, because there's no way we can really know which one you're using in that instance. So yeah, that's the fucking setup, right? One other thing, like you can see, like you can do pretty fast like inputs, and it like registers and whatnot, like pretty responsive, right? But the thing that you be aware of is like if I am doing like one frame taps on these buttons, like every once in a while, like you will see that like it didn't actually like highlight the button because you hit it like in between polling periods, and that's just an issue with PadPipe in general. One thing that I think I might be able to do is bump the frame buffer to go from 60 FPS to like 120 or something, and I think that might increase the poll rate so that it drops less inputs. I'm not sure if that's a fact though. I'll try to do that, but nothing I can really do about that. Like that's the way it is, like standard out of the box. So yeah, hopefully you guys like it. You can take the fucking background and like drop your own custom pictures in there. All you'll have to do is like I mean, the buttons themselves have transparency, so as long as you save your buttons with transparency, you won't have to do like any major changes when you drop some different artwork in. But yeah, you can customize both, right? You can do like HD buttons if you want. Just depends on how you want to like resize it and how you want things to look when it's smaller, right? So that's the hat, and hopefully you guys, it'll get you through until Devs comes through like a fucking hero and gives us the shit that we don't deserve. So peace, guys, and take it easy.